Okay. So like I said, this transition that we're gonna have, it's just one moment and we only do it once in the flow, but it is funky and it's a little bit confusing. So I'll just show you what it looks like so that when we get to that moment, you have a visual to accompany the verbal cues before you're in it. So we're gonna be in a lizard lunge. So in this case, my right foot is on the outside of my right hand. My back knee is going to be lifted again eventually. And we're going to push into our hands as if we're going to a wild thing. And this will be kind of like moving through a wild thing through a side plank versus going back to our three-legged dog. I'm going to push through my hands, start to lift my right foot, and I'm going to step over like I'm going to a wild thing. So my right foot is going to the other side of the yoga mat. But then I'm going to let my pelvis drop all the way to the earth, so now I'm sitting. The knee that was bent continues to stay bent, the leg that was long continues to stay long, and this foot is going to step across. And then we'll go into a twist. Yeah? To get back to the front of our yoga mat, the leg that is long is going to stay long. This knee that's bent is going to be going to our three-legged dog. So when we go back to the top, hands are coming to the top of your yoga mat like a high plank. You're going to use your feet here. As you spin onto your back toes, three-legged dog, right leg returns to the sky once again. Yeah. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier when we explore that transition in the practice. And the first time through, it's like a little bit funky if you've never done it, and especially finding the spacing of putting your hands back to the top of your yoga mat to go into your three-legged dog again. But if you take the recording of this class later on, then you'll have a better idea of where everything goes, especially according to your own individual proportions. Yeah. For our practice today, we're actually going to start in a seated meditation. So you can either start cross-legged or in Hero's Virasana if you want to sit on your shins. Maybe sit on a block if that feels more supportive. And just take a moment to settle into your seat. Maybe starting at the base of your spine, the bowl of your pelvis, as you close your eyes. Just begin to tilt your hips forwards and backwards a little bit. As you tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, you're just trying to find that sweet spot that allows your spine to grow tall towards the sky. Once you settle in stillness in your pelvis, feel your heart lift a little bit taller. You might take a shoulder shrug to open your chest, drawing your shoulders up, back, and down. And let your chin fall to your chest. And find a little lift of your chin. Maybe take a couple more cycles like that, lifting and lowering your chin. Again, searching for that sweet spot. You find neutral through your spine and the crown of your head elevates a little bit taller to the ceiling. And starting to notice your breath. Begin to gradually deepen every inhale. And just let your exhales get a little bit slower and steadier. Every breath in, feel yourself grow slightly taller. Feel your breath get slightly more expansive. And then keeping that length, the uplift of energy through your body as you exhale, notice where you can start to find some ease. So slow, expansive breath in to find length, lift, expansiveness. And slow and steady exhale to offer some softness. Maybe releasing and relaxing the muscles to your jaw, the space across your cheekbones, and the areas around your eyes and between your eyebrows. Offering ease to the space of your forehead. As you take a few more mindful breaths here, maybe offering to your practice an intention of patience. Right, the shapes that we're moving towards today, they are big shapes that require a lot of flexibility in the body. And so we'll just be moving in the direction of them. So allowing ourselves to truly let go of the destination, the outcome, to not be attached to the shapes themselves, but to really enjoy the process. Be patient in the process of creating space in our bodies. And as we take a few rounds of cleansing breath, maybe bring one or both hands to your heart. And as you're ready, take a deep, expansive inhale in again. And then this time, open mouth, exhale, release. We'll go twice more like that. So a deep breath in. At the top, open mouth, exhale, release. And one more time, full body breath in, fill all the way to the top. And then at your own pace, open your mouth and sigh the breath out. And sealing your lips, deep inhale through your nose. And keeping your lips sealed, exhale through your nose. And as you shift into your Ujjayi pranayama, go ahead and release your hands away from your heart. We're going to stay in a seat for a moment. If you'd like to switch the cross of your legs, if you're in a cross-legged seat, feel free to do so. And then from our seat, whatever seat you have in your lower half is fine. You're going to circle sweep your hands up to the sky, take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, goddess, your arms, elbows go wide and back, and gently draw your shoulder blades together as you open your chest. Now pausing here, send your arms wide to the side like a capital T. We're gonna do a little like Gomukhasana arm, goddess arm flow. So once your arms are wide to the side, flip your right palm towards the sky. And you're gonna bend out your elbows like you're going to Gomukhasana arms. You're gonna reach your right fingertips down the nape of your neck towards that space between your shoulder blades. The back of your left hand is sliding up along your spine towards your right fingertips. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. But try to keep your chin lifted, heart open. And as you inhale, send your arms wide again into that capital T. Just exhale, shoulders out of ears. With a breath in, circle sweep your hands to the sky. Exhale, goddess arms. Inhale, arms wide to a capital T. As you exhale, flipping your left palm to the ceiling, you're going to start to move towards Gomukhasana arms, second side. So left fingertips going up and then down your spine. Right hand is going along your low back and up your spine. Maybe your fingertips touch, maybe they don't. But think elbows are going wide and back, chin off chest. As you're creating external and internal rotation through your shoulders. Then inhale, send your arms wide to that capital T again. As you exhale, just shoulders out of ears. And we'll do one more with the goddess arms. Breath in to circle, sweep your hands high. Exhale, goddess arms. And from your goddess arms, interlace your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide. As you press your elbows wide and back, just gently elevate your heart towards the sky. Relax your head into your hands, your fingertips. As your shoulder blades boost your sternum to the ceiling, again, your elbows are pressing wide, opening through your chest. Might be a little extra sticky since it's early. Take one more breath in. And then exhale to release. We'll find our way into a tabletop. If you want to take like a shoulder shrug forwards and backwards before you shift, just take a moment. And then as you're ready, you're going to set yourself up in your tabletop pose. Right, shoulders coming to stack over your wrists, and then hips stacked directly above your knees. Your fingers really wide. Inhale to your cow pose. Begin to lift your heart and tailbone. Let your belly fall towards the earth. And exhaling to cat pose, slowly press the earth away. Find that big roundedness through the back of your heart. Maybe slight tuck of your chin. We'll go once more like this. Inhale, cow pose. Think about pulling your rib cage away from your pelvis and reaching your pelvis to the back of the room. And as you exhale to your cat pose, press and curl, activating through your core, shoulder blades spread wide. At this time, as you inhale to your cow pose, lift your heart and tailbone. And then continue to lift into your cow, but find a little shift forwards and backwards. So heart and tailbone continue to scoop to the ceiling as you shift forwards and backwards. Last big breath in here. And exhale, same thing in our cat pose, press and curl. And then continue to actively push into your cat as you shift forwards and backwards. And that shift can be as big or as small as feels good. And from here, we'll start to make our way back to neutral tabletop, keeping your hips stacked directly above your knees, Anahatasana, or puppy pose. Hands walk out in front of you. And then bring your forehead or your chest down to the earth, creating a big heart opening. With your hips high, your chest low, press into your hands so there's energy traveling along the lengths of your arms. And think about inhaling, hips high. Exhale to sink your sternum towards the earth. Yeah, just one more breath here. Now from our puppy pose, we're going to start to slide forward into a low cobra. So bending at your elbows, bring your belly to the earth. And slide your hands back by your low ribs, inhaling to lift your heart a little bit, low cobra. Feel the strength along your spine. Send energy down the lengths of your legs. And then exhale to release. Headed to our gecko pose, hands are going to go wider than your yoga mat. Tighten your fingertips on the earth, elbows are tall to the ceiling. With a breath in, start with the strength of your spine to lift your chest. As you stay lifted, just exhale, shoulders out of ears. With your next breath in, you might lift a little bit higher, maybe use your hands to push the earth away. That feels okay in your low back. On your breath out, your left shoulder is going to dip towards the center of your yoga mat. Look to the right side of the room. Finding a nice big twist. Then inhale, lift and lengthen through the midline. And your exhale, second side, right shoulder dips in, look to the left. Then inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, draw your chest forward and lower all the way down. So think about actively lengthening your ribcage forward as you descend. Hands are going to return to frame your ribcage for a high cobra this time. As you breathe in, lifting through your spine, your hands push the earth away. Now make sure there's a little micro bend at least through your elbows. Collarbones stretch across your chest. And you're pulling your ribcage forward and through. So you should feel a lot of effort in your arms along your spine. Take an inhale, think crown of the head lifts a little higher. As you exhale, find a baby twist to the right. So just going to turn to the right, look over your right shoulder towards your right heel. And then breath in to come back to center. Second side, baby twist to the left, looking over your left shoulder towards your left heel. And then inhale returns you to center. On your breath out, lower all the way back down to the earth. And then keeping your elbows hugged in close, your upper body and core push you to a child's pose. Send your hips back towards your heels. Lengthening through your spine, one deep breath. And as you feel complete in your child's pose, begin to make your way into downward facing dog. Shift forward, tuck your toes, and then reach your pelvis up and back. Allow the weight of your head to be heavy as you take a little pedal through your feet. Maybe nodding your head yes to release your neck. And then from your downward facing dog, on your next breath in, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged. As you exhale, bend your knee and open your hip like a dog at a fire hydrant. An option to take a hip circle in each direction here, drawing a giant circle one way with your right knee. And then the opposite direction, trying to move from the strength of your right hip. We'll step our right foot to the outside of our right hand, nice and slow for lizard lunge. So big push through your hands. Keeping your hips high, right foot steps nice and wide. And lower your left knee down to the earth. You can turn your right toes to the right a little bit if you want to add a little extra external rotation through your right hip. And reach your right hand forward, your heart forward, take a breath in. On exhale, we're going to swim back into a twist as you turn to the right side of the room. Reach your right hand to the back of your yoga mat. An option to stay right here, or if you'd like to, start to bend your left heel in towards your body, finding a little hamstring curl, quadricep stretch. You can just bend heel to seat, or if it's available, maybe your right hand catches your left foot to facilitate that stretch through your left thigh. I think inhale, pull your heart forward towards the front of the room. And then using that length, as you exhale, can you twist your sternum to the ceiling, right shoulder leaning back. Your shoulder blades are pressing your sternum away from your tailbone. And then from here, finding our lifted lizard lunge again. Right hand comes to the inside of your right foot. Tuck your back toes and lift your left knee. So again, here's that transition as we push into our hands. It's like we're going through a side plank to wild thing. You're going to lift your right foot up using your strong core, and slowly step your right foot to the left side of your yoga mat. Drop your hips all the way down. You're facing the back of the room. Left leg is long, right knee is bent. Step your right foot across your left thigh. Take your right fingertips behind your body like a second spine. As you inhale, lift your heart, lift your left hand, flex your left toes to your face. Then exhale to twist. You can use your left elbow on your right thigh to hook and rotate. And think about your low back drawing in and up, so you're getting taller as you inhale. You can really push with your right hand. As you exhale, peek over your right shoulder perhaps, deepening your twist. Good. One more breath in and out. And just for a moment, we're going to take a counter twist. So bring both your hands to the left side of your pelvis and allow your head to hang heavy. So it's kind of like you're finding a cat spine, a rounded spine to the left. And you can also push into your hands to facilitate that stretch through your back body, your upper back. Sending a deep breath to the space behind your heart, your back ribs. And then from here, start to look to the top of your yoga mat. You're going to bring your hands towards the front like a high plank, right? The distance of your hands, the first time you might figure out, oh, they're too far, they're too close. As you start to turn towards a plank, you're going to spin onto your left toes, three-legged dog. Return your right leg to the ceiling, big breath in. On your exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands this time, low lunge. And then coming to your fingertips, cow lunge, left knee is going to sink to hover, or maybe to tap the earth. And pausing in your cow lunge for a moment, collarbones are open. And you might explore with the tilt of your chin, sending your chin up and down, just finding neutral through your neck for one more breath in. Your exhale, start to lengthen both of your legs for your hamstring stretch, making any adjustments to the distance of your feet, or if you want to bring your hands to blocks. Then hug your outer right hip to the midline. Feel your left hip bone squaring to the front of your yoga mat. From here, you'll start to bend into your right knee. We're going to find a really gentle standing split. So this is more like a supported L maybe. As your right knee, find some softness, left leg lifts to the sky. And then keeping a little bit of bend through your right knee, Think standing splits at a fire hydrant. So open your left hip towards the left side of the room, squeezing from your outer glute, and then bend your left heel towards your right booty cheek. Maybe let your head fall a little bit heavier to the earth. Take a breath in. Your exhale, bending both of your knees. You're going to step into a chair pose. Left foot meets your right. Let your hips sink low, and then inhale to lift through your heart and your hands. And exhale, settle, arrive. And your hands can either be reaching up at the diagonal in line with your spine, or you can reach your hands forward in front of your shoulders for a little bit less intensity through your upper body. Take a nice big breath in. On exhale, we're going to open arm twist to the right. So just sweep your right hand back in space. Try to create space between your shoulders and your ears. We'll take an extra breath for this first round. Look down and notice if your left knee snuck forward. Draw your left knee in line with your right so your hips are still square. Squeezing through your inner thighs, twist from your core to the right. With your next breath in, chair pose. Your right hand can reach forward or both hands to the sky. And exhale, second side, open arm twist to the left. Again, as you squeeze through your inner thighs, pull in through your belly, and then check that your knees are still square, hips are square. Actively hug your inner thighs together as you twist to the left. Good breath in, find chair pose, Utkatasana, and then exhale to airplane your arms beside you. We're going to shift our energy into our left foot and come to right tippy toes. Collarbones are wide, start to flamingo your right heel up and in. So first little moment in standing balance. It's okay if it's a little extra wobbly. Root to rise with your right leg, press down into the earth as you lift up with your right leg, hands go to the sky. Now you can stay right here, or find a little bend through your left knee or standing leg. And then set up for your dancer's pose. We're not going into our full dancers, just reach your right hand to catch your right foot. If possible, your upper arm bone is externally rotated and you're catching the arch, the inside of your foot. Think about a lift of your rib cage, your chest. Maybe gently kick up and back into your right hand. And start to bend your left knee a little bit more. Light up the back of your right leg, your right hamstring. We're going to move through an airplane pose to a high crescent lunge. Just really slowly start to send your arms and your legs long. Try to keep your collarbones wide across your heart. Take a breath in. High crescent lunge, exhale, releases your right toes to the back of your yoga mat. Use an inhale to reach through your heart and your hands. Okay, here we go. Exhale, hands to the earth to frame your left foot. Three-legged dog, lift your left leg to the ceiling, big breath in. Bend your knee and open your hip, that dog at a fire hydrant shape. And using the strength of your left glute, maybe draw a circle in each direction with your left knee. After your circles, take an inhale. Slow motion and strong, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, lizard lunge. And as your left foot arrives, release your right knee to the earth. Then you can turn your left toes a little bit to the left if that feels good or natural for your body. Inhale, lengthens your left hand forward to the front of the room, big reach. And exhale, backstroke your left hand towards the back of the room into your twist. Option to find that hamstring curl, right heel towards your booty. Or if it's available and you'd like to take a facilitated stretch, left hand might catch your right foot. Those are two different sensations though, right? Having the active hug of your right heel to your glute, that's helpful in that transition we're exploring from dancer to airplane. Hand to foot, pulling the heel in will also be helpful for another place we're going as well. Yeah? So inhaling, your heart goes forward. Think about squeezing through your back body strength to open your chest. And exhale, wrap your right ribs towards your left thigh to deepen your twist. And here's that funky transition, finding our lifted lizard lunge, left hand to the inside of your left foot. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Now think plank body. You're going to start to step your left foot up and over like you're going to a wild thing. And then bring your pelvis all the way to the earth. So now you're sitting down facing the back of your mat. Flex your right toes to your face and step your left foot across your right thigh. Left hand goes behind you. Inhale to reach your right hand up. Exhale, seated twist. Right elbow is gonna hook. And think about using your right elbow to push down into your thigh to help you lift higher first. And then from that height in your heart, then rinse and rotate. Maybe peeking over your left shoulder. One more deep breath, maybe breathing to the back of your body. And we exhale, starting to unwind the torso. Counter twist, bring both your hands towards your right hip and let your chin fall to your chest, rounding your spine. So getting into your upper back, your thoracic spine. Maybe you find a gentle push through your hands to deepen that stretch. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Then I think everything's okay. And then to find our way towards our three-legged dog, hands are gonna go towards the top of your yoga mat, like a high plank. Your left leg is gonna be lifting. So you're gonna start to spin. Using your feet as you turn onto your right toes, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. If you got confused along the way, left leg is lifted, three-legged dog, and then just step your left foot forward. Right knee sinks to hover, cow lunge. Draw your chest forward and through. With your exhale, maybe let your hips get a little bit earthier. As you breathe in, find elongation from your heart to your crown, all the way down to your tailbone. And keeping that length through your spine, exhale to your hamstring stretch, your cat lunge. Now, as you lengthen your legs, you'll notice if your left hip is flaring wide, can we wrap our left hip into the midline? And notice if you're leaning really to the outside edge of your left foot, try to evenly distribute your weight, your energy, in the four corners of your left foot. As you gently hug your inner thighs to the midline, your right hip is hugging towards square. Okay, we'll start to bend into our front knee, having a bent knee standing split. So keep a decent bend through your left knee as you reach your right leg to the sky. Externally rotate your right hip and use your outer right glute to lift your right leg up. Finding standing splits at a fire hydrant, bend your right heel towards your left booty cheek. Head is heavy, just take one breath in. Then exhale into your chair pose. Your core is active as you step your right foot to the earth. Zipping your legs up, hips low, inhale to your chair, Utkatasana. On your exhale, open arm twist to the left, just for your breath out. Left hand sweeps down and back. Good, inhale, chair pose, bring it through center. Exhale to the second side, right hand sweeps back. Inhale, chair. Exhale, airplane arms. Leaning your power into your right foot, begin to test the waters, maybe starting with left tippy toes. Draw your front ribs in as you flamingo your left heel up. Root to rise, bring your left leg with you, slowly grow tall, reach tall with an inhale. And find a little softness in your standing knee, shoulders out of ears as you exhale. Just the dancer's pose setup, left hand will catch your inner left foot. Draw your thighs towards the midline. Maybe puff your heart up a little bit. An option to kick up and back into your left hand for a moment. And from here, begin to bend into your right knee a little bit extra. Can you light up your left hamstring? Can you feel that mind-body connection to flex and engage the back of your left leg? And then from there, airplane, slowly start to send your arms and your legs long. You're going to take a big breath in. Okay, finding refinement with exhale. One more deep in breath. And then a high crescent, left toes land to the back of your yoga mat. And take a moment, reach up high, gather in an inhale. Hands to the earth as you exhale. Okay, we're gonna build onto this flow. It's gonna be a little bit different than before. As you push the earth away, right leg goes to the sky, three-legged dog. Take a breath in. Bend your right knee, open your hip as you exhale. Stay, or option for a wild thing, a true wild thing this time. You might step your right tippy toes to the earth. Then lift your hips and your heart, reaching your right hand overhead, look towards the front of the room. Three-legged dog. Slowly return your right hand to the earth if you lifted it. Big breath in, reach your right leg sky high. Exhale, steps your right foot forward between your hands. Cow lunge, left knee is going to come to a hover. Now, from our cow lunge, we're going to keep our left knee low and hovering, and we're going to bring ourselves upright into a 90-90 crescent lunge. So a double bent knee crescent, hands to heart center. And that's spicy, so if you're like, no thank you, you can drop your back knee to the earth again. Right hand to your right hip. Reach your left hand to the sky, take a breath in. As you exhale, baby side bend to the right. Your right hand is to encourage your hips to stay center and square. And you're just finding a baby little tip to the right. You should feel like a nice big stretch to the front of your left hip. Take a breath in. Open arm twist to the right. Reach your left hand forward. Swim your right hand back in space. Keep hugging to the midline through your legs. Rinsing and twisting through your waistline, through your upper body. And unraveling through your upper body, both hands go high. You're in your double bent knee crescent. Into your standing splits, shift into your right foot. Slowly lift your left leg to the ceiling, big breath in. Opening through your hips, standing splits at a fire hydrant, left heel towards your right glute. Again, your right knee can be really bent here. If you'd like to go for a bind, your right hand's gonna reach to catch your left foot, so opposite hand to foot. Getting a little pretzel moment, a quad stretch through your left thigh. Pull your left heel to your seat if you have that hand to foot connection. From here, chair pose. You're going to step your left foot to meet your right, just like we did before. Hips low, inhale, lift through heart and hands. This time, exhale, hands to heart center. Your left foot's going to stay on the earth. Figure for your right ankle on your left thigh. So you're going to kind of like stand up just enough to find that little hook. Once you have right ankle on left thigh, flex your ankle, and then begin to send your hips back and down. So creating a big outer right hip stretch. Find 2 cycles of breath. Okay. From your standing figure 4, rise up just enough to unhook into your airplane pose. Extend your right leg behind you, arms beside you. Just take one big breath in. On exhale, low lunge, bend into your left knee. Bring your fingertips to frame your left foot as your right toes lower to the ground. And we're going to take a little moment here in a half pigeon. Walk your left foot across to the right side of your yoga mat. As you lower your left shin bone to the earth, you might just scoot your right knee back a little bit. Half pigeon. Good. You're pressing gently down into the earth through both of your legs. Squeeze through your inner thighs. If you want this to be more strength-based, more active, you're going to squeeze through your inner thighs, lifting your hands to the sky. If you're like, no thank you, or you can always sleep your pigeon and dive down to the earth, lowering any amount. Okay, both are helpful. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Okay, we're going to go directly into our second side of this layer. So hands at the top of your yoga mat in front of your left shin. Adjust your right toes, tucking them underneath. You might just scooch them a little bit closer. We're going to our three-legged dog. So left leg's going to go to the sky, taking an inhale as you extend. Bend your knee, open your hip with your exhale. Option to stay right here in your dog at a fire hydrant, or find your wild thing. Maybe place your left tippy toes to the earth and spiral your chest open, pushing the earth away, big breath in. Now keeping your hips high from the strength of your core and the push of your hands, three-legged dog.
Exhale, lands your left hand. Inhale to lift and lengthen your left leg. Breath out, steps your left foot forward to the top. Okay, feet hips distance will be really helpful for when we go into our crescent here. As you bring your right knee to a hover, you're going to push through your feet, engaging your glutes, your legs, your core. Hands come to heart center to start maybe. So you're in this double bent knee crescent. Remembering this is an option, an amplification. Right knee to the ground is perfect as well. Left hand to your left hip. Squeezing to the midline, reach your right hand to the ceiling, big breath in. Now can you keep your hips as square as they are now? Just lean over to the left a tiny, tiny bit. For most of us, we don't need much to find that really big right hip flexor stretch. Your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Take our breath in. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Maybe your right knee is still hovering. Right heel is high as you reach your right hand forward and left hand back. As you squeeze an imaginary block between your inner thighs, you can use your core to help facilitate your twist to the left. Okay, moving through center. I just realized I forgot something I wanted to do. That's okay. As you come back through center, standing splits, lean into your left foot. Right toes are reaching towards the ceiling. Maybe there's a bend through your left knee. As you externally open your right hip, standing splits at a fire hydrant, bend your right heel in. If you'd like to go for the hand to foot connection, left hand's gonna reach to your right foot maybe. And then pull your right heel into your glute. Continue to lift your right knee towards the sky, getting a big quad stretch. Head is heavy, take an inhale. Slow, intentional step to your chair pose as you exhale. This is really just a transition, so you don't even have to bring your hips low. It can just be like a little bend through your knees, lifting through your heart and hands. So your hands find heart center. Figure 4, left ankle on your right thigh. You'll eventually start to send your hips back and down, exploring the depth that feels good for this hip on this side today. And can you offer this shape 2 intentional breaths? You find a little more length in your spine. So for most of us, we have to draw our shoulder blades together, collarbones open, and have a slightest bit of cow spine. So our cat spine is when we're rounded. Think about arching slightly open. To find your airplane, push into the earth, lift up just enough, and then start to re-extend your left leg behind you. You can definitely have a bend in your standing leg for stability. Now we're gonna, like we're riding an elevator, go straight down into a low lunge. So as you bend your right knee, hands to the earth, left toes land. Half pigeon, walk your right foot across towards the left side of your yoga mat. Release your right knee down. And especially for today, having your right shin parallel is not important at all. Right, so you can have a pretty big bend through your right knee. Maybe your right heel is really close to your left thigh, that's okay. Yeah. Then squeezing through your legs, press down through your right shin bone. You can either tip forward and sleep your ego, you can just stay on your hands, or you can activate through your legs, your low back, and lift your heart and hands to the sky. Good, 2 more breaths. Okay. Take your time here, there isn't a rush. We're gonna make our way into a little child's pose moment in a second. We have like a little mini layer, and then we're gonna work into our pigeon once more. So hands in front of your right shin bone. Tuck your back toes, adjusting their placement. Right, downward facing dog. Right foot meets your left. Take a little paddle. If you wanted to add in a chaturanga, feel free to take a chaturanga. Otherwise, let your knees find the earth for a breath in child's pose, hips to heels. Prayer hands to the base of your skull would be beneficial for where we're going. So maybe you bend at your elbows and draw the heels of your hands to the nape of your neck. Okay, after a moment, after a couple breaths, we're going to meet in our downward facing dog. So our peak pose is interwoven into this last mini layer, which is a like mermaid, merman, merperson, pigeon. So starting in your downward facing dog, we'll get there. We'll do a couple things along the way. So you just have right side and left side, and then we're laying down. From your downward facing dog, a big push away of the earth, releasing and relaxing your head. Start to inhale your right leg to the sky. On your exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Holding here for breath in, push into your hands, making a window. As you exhale, step your right foot in between your thumbs. Maybe you give it a little boost. Left knee hovers, cow lunge. Draw your chest forward and through, making sure your feet are hips distance. As you exhale, strong through your legs and core, bring yourself into that double bent knee crescent just for a moment. Hands can come to heart to start. Okay, we'll reach your hands up high, big breath in. Remember your back knee can be on the earth. Open arm twist to the right, exhale. Now keeping the twist, we're going to exalt. So maybe your right hand finds your right hip, and staying twisted to the right, begin to reach your left hand up and back. So it's kind of like your reverse warrior, but you are twisted towards the right side of the room. Give it one more big breath in. As you exhale, slowly start to unwind, windmill down into a low lunge, and then step forward to a forward fold. Left foot meets your right. I'm not going to make you do an extra chair pose for this transition. Just inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, circle sweep, rise all the way to standing. And your exhale, hands to heart. Shift into your left foot. You can have a little softness in that standing knee. Start to draw your right heel up for your dancer's pose. Right hand's going to catch your right foot. I personally like to have my left hand at my heart for dancer's pose. You can extend your left arm if you like that. And begin to lift your chest, kick up and back any amount. Then maybe tip a little bit forward into the space at the back of your left leg. From your dancer's pose, collarbones are wide. Take a big breath in. Trying not to slingshot, airplane pose. Activate the back of your right leg. Slowly release. Embracing any wobbles that show up, you take a breath in. Slowly bending through your left knee, ride that elevator down to your low lunge with control. Then half pigeon, walk your left shin across the top of your yoga mat. Okay, so in this moment, you can take the same options that we had before. You can reach to the sky, hands to the earth as they are, or fold forward. If you're wanting to go to your merperson pigeon, you're going to bend your right heel towards your seat. That might be as far as you go. Maybe twisting to the right, your right hand reaches back to catch your right foot. And start to pull your heel towards you. So you're twisting towards your bent right knee. If it's available, squeezing through your inner thighs, can you slide your right foot to your right elbow crease? If it's not, right hand to right foot. And then whether you have your elbow to foot or hand to foot, can you hug and engage and reach your left hand to the ceiling? Right now you're twisting your heart, your torso to the right side of the room. And if it's available, as you bend through your elbows, your fingertips might connect. So if your right foot is in your right elbow crease, and bend at your elbows, hands connect. It's kind of like Gomukhasana, but over your head. Elbows go wide, chin off chest. Press the back of your head into your left forearm. At whatever pigeon variation you're in, take one more inhale. And your exhale, slowly and gently start to release. Good, hands to the top of your yoga mat. Step back into a downward facing dog. So just all the way to downward dog, left foot meets your right. Take a little pedal. Deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Here we go, second side, final bit of effort. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. As you take a breath in, push through your hands, creating space. Exhale to place your left foot lightly between your thumbs. You might have to give it a little boost, it's okay. Right knee's gonna come to a hover cow lunge. Lining up through your strong legs one more time. Bring your hands to your heart as your torso comes upright. Double bent knee crescent. Right hip is lifted and hugging forward square with your left. Reach your hands high as you take a breath in. Open arm twist to the left side of the room. Swim your left hand backwards. Maintaining our twist. Left hand to left hip, exalt. Twisting to your left. Reach your right hand up and back. Finding that's exalted double bent knee crescent just for one more breath in. We'll exit a slowly windmill down through your low lunge. And then just step forward to a forward fold, right foot meets your left. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Big breath in, circle sweep to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Shift into your strong right leg. Start to flamingo your left heel back for your dancer's pose. Left hand catching the instep of your left foot. Stretch your collarbones wide, hug through your inner thighs, and then maybe start to kick up and back into your dancer's pose. Right hand can stay at your heart, or you can reach through your right hand. And also lean a little bit forward, tipping into the space of your right hamstring. Good. Find your dancer's pose. Everything goes up. Kick up and back, using that kick to help elevate your chest. Airplane, bending through your right knee. Slow, controlled release, trying to avoid the slingshot. One big breath in. To your low lunge, bend into your right knee, ride the elevator all the way down to the earth. Half pigeon, walk your right shin across. And then check in here. So again, you can stay in your pigeon just like you are, hands to the earth. You can reach your hands high or you can fold forward. If that mer pigeon is interesting to you, bend your left heel towards you like a little hamstring curl. Backstroke your left hand towards your left foot. Maybe you connect hand to foot. That's a perfect place to stay, and then you can reach your right hand to the sky if you want to. And we're twisting our heart to our bent leg, to the left, to the back. If you want to pull your left heel towards your glute and slide your left toes into your left elbow crease, that's the next step. Again, you can pause there and reach your right hand to the sky. Or perhaps starting to bend at your elbows, maybe just like one finger, right? Maybe just your pointer fingers connect, creating that hook. Now think about lifting your ribcage up away from your hips as you twist towards the left. Chin off chest, the back of your head is pressing into your right forearm. Wherever you are, take a breath in, take a breath out, and slowly, when you're ready, no rush at all, you're gonna start to release. Okay, from here, you're just gonna lean over to your right glute, to your right booty cheek, and bring both legs forward. Your knees bent, you might take a little windshield wiper moment, side to side. Okay. And then we're gonna use our core to lower down, because especially after like some back bending, and in this case like a back bend and twist, if your low back was trying to take over, if you were dumping into the low back at all, core engagement is really healthy to help reintegrate. So at the top of your yoga mat, knees bent, flex your feet into the ground. Reaching your hands high, take a nice big breath in. And exhale, keeping your hands high, shoulders out of ears, slowly start to lower backwards. Now you're using your heels anchoring into the earth to help light up your core. Front ribs draw in, navel to spine. And you're using your core to keep your heels grounded. There's going to reach a moment as you start to lean back where it's going to be helpful to slowly start to reach your hands forward as a little bit of counterbalance. But try to go really slow in adding in that support. Try not to rush. Allow yourself to really explore the edge of effort here as you lower all the way down. Once you get to your back body, take a full body stretch, big breath in. And then open mouth, exhale, let it go. Draw both your knees into your chest, hug your thighs in close. And we take a little rock from side to side. Keeping your hands at the fronts of your knees, let your knees start to fall wide into a variation of happy baby. And then maybe knees go wide and forward as your arms lengthen for your shoulders, draw gently away from your ears. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale out, knees are going to move through center. And then to the left, gentle twist. Just let your legs stack heavy to the left. Maybe tip your gaze over to the right. And take a breath. And one more breath in. You can always open mouth, exhale if that feels good to release. Just slowly guide your knees to center with your next inhalation. And on your exhalation, let your legs tip over to the right. Gentle twist, second side. With your legs to the right, maybe spill your gaze over to the left. 2 cycles of breath. And slowly guide yourself back to center, knees to chest. We're going to take 2 more shapes before Savasana, the first of which will be your inversion of choice. So maybe just send your legs up to the sky. You can always stay there. Otherwise, starting to boost your hips up and over you to either plow and or shoulder stand. Hands supporting your low back. For shoulder stand, your feet are lifting up to the ceiling. For your plow pose, your toes are going towards the earth overhead. Again, legs up to the sky is a perfect place to stay. Just take 2 more cycles of breath. Now from your inversion, if you want to spend more time here, that's totally fine. No rush. If you're ready to lower, really slow, really controlled, start to roll out. Just letting your head kind of follow lead with the rest of your spine. Once you arrive, knees will stay bent. Moving to your butterfly, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open wide. Now you can take a restorative butterfly, staying as you are, or if you'd like to find a butterfly bridge, you'll keep the soles of your feet pressed together. You're going to root down to the outside edges, the pinky edges of your feet as you take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze through your glutes and lift your hips away from the ground. So butterfly bridge. Engaging your seat to support low back. 2 cycles of breath, whatever shape you're in. And pressing the soles of your feet together, hips lifted if you're in that butterfly bridge. When you're ready, let your hips release back to the earth. We'll all reach our hands down to outer thighs to gather our knees back into our heart space. Draw your thighs to your chest. Then curl your forehead or your nose up to your knees, tucking in tight. Take a deep breath. And your exhale, Savasana, send your arms and your legs out long. Adjust your shoulder blades so they are completely grounded in contact with the earth. As you close down your eyes, take a really deep inhale. Then maybe an open mouth exhale. For this last minute of your Savasana, as you guide your attention back to the sensations of your body and your breath, just noticing any internal shifts in the space of your heart and your mind. Feel the effects of your practice beginning to move through you, trusting and knowing that your practice will continue to work through you through the rest of this day, maybe the rest of your week. As you allow yourself to maybe drop a little bit heavier into the embrace of the earth, just letting your bones and your muscles sink into the support below. Let your breath begin to expand. As patient as every inhale stretches nice and wide. And then patient, trying not to rush your exhale as it naturally and slowly empties out. And as you feel your breath gradually deepen, and perhaps you bring one or both hands to your heart space. As we take just one more moment to pause in appreciation of our practice, of the practice of yoga itself, the tools and the insights that it provides for both on our mats as well as off. And in gratitude of our bodies and our breath, this time that we shared, we'll take one more deep inhale all together. And one more open mouth exhale, just let it go. And may yoga offer us a path to compassion. And may our practices serve as our teachers, always leading us to live with greater authenticity and to love more deeply each and every day. Thanks so much for being here today, and namaste.